Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at these questions now and picked up all the marks available for these different described questions. Now I'm going to go through them on how I would answer them to see if you've got the right answers. So the first graph is number of weeks along the bottom into training and the number of red blood cells. Describe the change in number of red blood cells during this 10-week training period. So during this 10-week training period, how has the number of red blood cells changed? So as I said on the tutorial, draw a line. I'll probably draw two lines here. It begins to change there. And the first part of the graph, as the number of weeks training increased, the red blood cell count also increased. However, after 6 weeks of training, the red blood cell count remained the same. So I'm saying what the line's doing here, it's leveling off here, and when it begins to level off. 4 marks. Okay, next question. This time I've got a table. Approach exactly the same. I'll very quickly answer this. Calculate the change in concentration of glucose from 6 AM to midday. Well, at midday it's 18. At 6 AM it's 2. The difference will be 16. Goes up from 2 to 16, 2 to 18, which is increased by 16. Now describe the pattern shown in the concentration of glucose from 6 AM to midnight. So it goes up, then down. But we're not going to use up and down, are we? We're going to use increase and decrease. So as time increases, the concentration of glucose increases until midday. After midday, glucose concentration decreases. There you go. So I've got increases, I've got my reference point midday, and I've got decreases. So I've got 3 marks there for 2 marks. But my approach is exactly the same for each bit of data I am describing. And lastly, trickier graph, but same approach again. At the end of day 3, well, we're going to predict it's going to come down to around about here. So that's going to be about 7.2 pH. I'm not too concerned about that answer at the moment. I'm just looking at describing data. So, describe the changes in the pH during day 1. So I'm not concerned about any other graph apart from this bit here. Day 1. So I'm focusing on this part of my graph. This is day 1, from midnight to midnight. So, and you've got this going on here. And this is worth 2 marks again. So pH slightly decreases from midnight, which is this part I'm describing here. But shortly after, there is an increase in pH level. So how long does this increase last for? Well, it lasts for exactly in between midday and midnight. So I'm going to put that into the second part of the answer. pH slightly decreases from midnight, but shortly after there's an increase in pH level. This carries on on to in between until midday and midnight. pH then decreases. So that is quite a difficult one, and it's a lot longer. But it's the same approach. You've got to split your graph up and talk it through. It would be nicer, of course, if you had a time here that you could use as a reference point. I hope you did okay on your exam question.